Hi everyone, this is Viktor and Tsveti with our series basically about the full moon and the new moons. And this time around we do have got a full moon happening on 7 degree of Scorpio. So we will be discussing how it might affect the world as well as us on an individual level. And I feel like this full moon is very good to release some of our mental trauma and some of our insecurities. So I would like to grab the opportunity to announce that I will be doing next Friday a webinar about what indicates depression, anxiety, some type of mental disorders in our chart, because I feel like this is a brilliant time to actually learn about it and maybe having a couple of tips as well of how we can release those. So if you are interested, then I will put the link in the description box and you can check it out yourself. How are you doing?
Hi, Victor. Well, I'm doing fine. Let's say with this intense Scorpio full moon coming and Pluto stationing retrograde right at the same time. And Pluto is the ruler of this full moon. It's like felt for over the last week already. It's very intense, and everybody I was reading, chats and forums, and everybody is feeling it already. And yeah, it will be quite intense.
There is loads of buzz around this
Yeah.
full moon, surely. I've seen in the Facebook groups and stuff like that. And I kind of understand because this is going to be, I mean, this is quite a volatile energy from an astrological point of view. So, and maybe probably everyone feels the culmination of this Scorpio full moon. So full moons are all about releasing some of our tensions, but at the same time, it is culminating something which started a certain time ago. Well, actually, this Scorpio kind of season started somewhere in November 2020, and we can have some type of peak whatever we started around that time, because full moon is also about collecting the fruits of labor as well at the same time. And of course, if we haven't done really anything, then it could be a culmination of that too, but more from a negative perspective as well. So we all know that astrology is all about collecting data and spotting patterns. That's why I believe that to a certain extent, astrology is indicated by Gemini as well in our charts, because Gemini is all about spotting patterns and asking the questions, right? So, this could be a point in our life when either we are going to be releasing some of our tensions in our life, or actually it's going to further build. And maybe there is going to be a moment when the last straw is kind of the last straws syndrome is going to be taking place. But how
Oh.
do you feel about this full moon overall?
Well, as you mentioned already, I feel it will be very emotional because Scorpio full moons are usually very emotional without, having the participation of Uranus and Saturn in the mix. And in this full moon particularly, we have actually Uranus and Saturn together with the full moon. They actually, Saturn is on the apex of a T-square and Uranus is on the other side together with the sun, just about to meet the sun actually in a few days after the full moon. Pluto stationing retrograde, which is the ruler of this full moon, the modern ruler. Mars is in Cancer, but it's in a very weak position. This is the ancient ruler of Scorpio, so it's again not helping that much, although it's in mutual reception with the moon. So they are supposed to be helping each other, but it feels to me that they will not be really supporting so much each other, even though even the mutual reception, because the moon in Scorpio, it's in fall, and so is Mars in Cancer. And this means that we will count on our emotions to support us in order to act, but our emotions will be so intense that we will act unreasonably in a way, and we will start probably like emotionally following some false goals or something which is not to be acted upon right now. So I would really think about this full moon, maybe patience, which is given by the Taurus stellium, will be the key, and also Saturn being on the apex of this T square, so patience and being disciplined about our mind and like following some rules and trying to do what's needed, what we must do, what we should do, and trying to somehow calm down these intense feelings and internalize them a bit. Because what is Saturn? Saturn likes to manifest on the outside in the material world. This is the last visible planet. It likes to manifest what's within us. So we will be able, if we are observant enough and calm down, manage to remain calm somehow in this turbulence, maybe we will be given the gift of Saturn to become wise about something that is really bugging us, which was swept below the carpet, on an emotional, on a very deep level, maybe some childhood trauma, some behavioral model, some feelings, maybe it's also about relationships as well, because the ruler of the sun will be Venus, and Venus is together with the sun. They just met indeed. So something in the relationship zone, who would we like to be with? Something about the home, which is represented by the moon as well. Place of living, home, family relationships, and this kind of feeling I have for the full moon.
I tend to be calling this as a mutual deception rather than a
Yeah,
mutual
that's
reception,
nice.
because as you said, Moon is in fall and Mars is in fall as well. And when two planets are depressed, they can't really help each other. So they'd rather just kind of firing each other up a little bit. So I feel like when Moon is out of its own element, it's going to be showing the darker side of hers, which is more about hysteria, obsessions, vengeful feelings. And we can make sure that whatever was hidden so far, well, we need to prepare that there is going to be like lightning bolts coming to strike and bring things out to the surface as well. And as you mentioned, yes, Pluto is going to be stationing actually tomorrow, just one day before the full moon. We know we are not going to be talking about Pluto retrograde and stationing. And by the way, I made a 1 hour video about what Pluto might indicate for the 12 signs. So if you want, check that out on my YouTube channel, but that would be way too long. But, this is all about releasing some of the toxic situations in your life. So especially if you've got any planet in the fixed signs, meaning Scorpio, Taurus, Aquarius, or Leo, somewhere between 2 to 12 degree, then this full moon is going to ask you to cut some of the ties and maybe empower yourself and basically have a kind of a spring clean within your body, as well as within your emotional, looking after your emotional well-being. And of course, we have got a full of Taurus energy going on, which is, a calmer sign. So this full moon, which are opposing each other, very much talks about a little bit of a push and pull energy between peace and power. And we don't really know which way to go, right? So with the full moon, we always have to find a balance. And one is very much focused on the material plane. The other one is very focused on the spiritual plane. So where am I going to be going? Scorpio is very good to do some type of shadow work, to recognize our emotional needs, to bring something out of the closet, the skeletons. So it shouldn't be staying hidden anymore. It is all about conquering our fears, because once it is conquered or spoken about, it's not a fear anymore. So digging deep, what is going on under our skin, really? Right? Taurus is more about the tangible things, something which we can touch and see and feel and, taste and so forth. But Scorpio is very much about how I feel within the body, within ourselves. So Yes, and I would also mention, yes, the two rulers are both quite, powerful at the moment in a sense that Mars has no power, but it is still out of, sorry,
Out
out
of
of,
bound. Bound.
um, pardon?
Out of bound.
Bound, yeah, that's the word I was looking
Yeah.
for. So this Mars is still bringing, some volatile energy there, and Pluto going retrograde is indicating that we need to go a little bit inwards, and we need to start healing some of our, some of our issues, and maybe we need to revisit some of the issues what happened actually last year. Last year it also went retrograde somewhere around April time as well. So we need to revisit some of the matters what was going on last year in April also.
Yeah, I really like your how is it called? What you mentioned about the spring clean.
Yeah,
I really like it because it gave me this notion. Somehow I imagined it that if we cannot start on the more psychological level, maybe we can start through making a real spring clean at our home. This is what the moon is. The moon represents our home. So if we have a hard time and feel frustrated on the inside, on an emotional level, maybe we can try finding some order through Saturn, which is squaring the moon on the outside first. And when we start, ordering everything around us, our environment, then order will come within as well. So if someone is fighting with this to really remain patient and to stay calm during this full moon, maybe that would be a nice way of manifesting on the material world. Trying to order the environment and to make it clean, because our body is our house, the house for the soul, right? And also on a larger scale, then our home where we live is actually the place where we can start with the spring clean. So
absolutely.
yeah, and that's a good balance between the spiritual and the material in a way. And we can focus on the material, and then the spiritual comes to us. So letting go can come through the cleaning process, especially of the bathroom, for example, because
Yeah,
Scorpio rules it. So
yeah, exactly.
why
That's why I
not?
wanted to say that I usually explain Scorpio cleansing as going to the bathroom.
Yeah,
So it's going to be talking about, emptying out, right? And
yeah,
basically, whenever you do that, you feel kind of relieved.
yeah,
So, this is the sign which is very much connected to healing. Or it's brilliant to visit a therapist or an energy healer or psychologist or even an astrologer. If you would like, by the way, to help analyzing what is that Scorpio full moon might be indicating in your chart, then you will be able to find Tsveti's or my link as well in the description box. And you can have a chat with us personally as well. But Taurus is all about building something tangible. So we started something with the Aries season. And now it is all about giving a shape, form, a
yeah,
foundation to it. And Taurus is going to be asking, what is its cost? Right? How do I pay for it? What do I need to pay for it?
yeah,
And with the Scorpio moon, we really need to tap into what is really going on within yourself as well. And on a worldly scale, I do believe with that Uranus conjunction to it, which is going to be happening 3 days after the full moon. By the way, it could indicate 3 weeks and 3 months as well. So I feel like the next 3 month, this full moon is going to be around. It could bring something which is going to be a rebellion energy. People maybe get
yeah,
tired of things. People are going to kind of revolutionize something. But also because Scorpio is all about healing, I feel like it is going to be bringing some type of breakthrough around healing medical field as well. And I also feel like the peak of that is going to be 2022, somewhere the first 3 months of the year. But I'm going to speak about that with the Jupiterian video, what exactly I mean by that, because obviously Jupiter at one point is going to be trining this point as well. So I feel
yeah.
like that's going to be a real breakthrough for us.
Oh yeah, hopefully. I really hope so. And yeah, as you mentioned, Sun conjunct in Uranus can bring sudden changes, shifts, which are really unexpected. And, it can be like helping us to let go of something as well. Like really unexpectedly, we've been frustrated, we didn't know what to do. And then suddenly it just snaps and it goes away. And Sun Uranus, they will want to fight for freedom. So being free of what's frustrating to us. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it indeed. Although it can bring some rebellion energy, it can be hard energy as well. But what change happens in an easy way? Actually, we need to fight someone sometimes for achieving freedom. Indeed. So this Sun Uranus, I think it will be helpful to manifest this a bit.
I'm also not surprised actually that recently some of the stock markets, crypto, Bitcoin had a big dip
Yeah,
actually, because this is the financial axis. And obviously, the Uranus and the Saturnian square is being featured by this full moon. And Saturn is all about the government. Uranus is all about electronic type of money, really, in Taurus. And for instance, I read that Turkey completely banned cryptocurrency, for instance, from their country. And they are not the only one who are planning to do so. So I feel like that is definitely something which relates to this Scorpio full moon. And even when we actually looked at yesterday on the Horary class how the cryptocurrency is going to be working out, we also saw additional, more kind of crashes actually. So in 2 units time, which is maximum can indicate 2 months. Now, what's interesting is that in 2 months time, the Saturnian Uranian square is also going to be activated. So I feel
activated.
like there is going to be some destabilizing energy in the financial world as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately. But this full moon is very much about creating something, but in order for you to do that, you need to let go of something as well. And with the Uranus, things are getting shaken up, shaked up. It's destabilizing things. And Saturn is really much talking about a divine time. And it says, wait a little bit, things are going to get better, and the moon is telling you that trust your instincts.
Oh
So,
yeah.
of course, these are just pulling, into different directions.
And also having so many fixed signs, we tend to be holding on to what's old, what we want to keep the status quo. And now we won't have this we will like seek the change internally. On an internal level, we will know that's it. There is no way we can keep the status quo anymore. We need to change, and that's inevitable. It's coming. So yeah, we can this Uranus actually will be helping us to just let it go and see what happens. In a way, be a little bit more courageous, especially Taurus, which likes their comfort zone a lot. So it's really hard to manifest any change, and this Uranus will be actually supporting it,
Yeah,
a little
Uranus
bit
wants
shaking
you to
it.
get out of your comfort zone. Maybe
Yeah.
it's the fact that you've been doing the same job for 20 years and it might not be working. The reason why I mentioned the 20 years, because there was a Saturn Jupiter conjunction 20 years ago on around the 2023 degree of Taurus.
Taurus.
Right. So we were meant to be closing a 20-year chapter in our life, especially Scorpio and Taurus energy, and then starting a Aquarius kind of season for them. And now this full moon kind of, triggering that point as well. So the question is, have we done any type of healing in the Taurian Scorpionic department, which maybe started 20 years ago, and then it's time to kind of release that? Or maybe it's actually just time to see beneath the surface or investigating about things. Or maybe someone betrayed you or hurt your privacy. And this is the time when we actually need to examine that. And maybe we don't necessarily need to become vengeful or spiteful about this. But yeah, I'm just going to let go of that. right? Because
Yeah.
it just creates drama. Scorpio is all about dramatic events. And of course, it talks about control issues. So it could really talk about the fact that I just want peace and I don't want anyone to control me. And that's why Saturn in that sign of Aquarius is a little bit rebellious. And then it comes up with maybe with some idea of, yeah, I'm going to be organizing this and that. So I'm going to get out of my comfort zone. So, Saturn, as I said, is the divine timing. So maybe it tells you that it's time to do something about your life, but with a little bit of a patience, stepping back,
Yeah.
examining the situation, not using that Uranus Sun conjunction where I'm just going to be blowing up and then, leave my job, for instance, tomorrow.
Yeah, we need to have really a plan to manifest this fixed energy. And also there is no fire right now at the time of the full moon, I mean. So fire means action. So again, one more caution telling us don't act, don't snap, just stay calm and try to figure out why did somebody hurt you, for example. What wound do you have within you that is making you to feel this bitterness within you when somebody tells something? Or what's your self-worth? Because Taurus rules our self-worth issues. Do we feel unloved? Do we feel unworthy? And yeah, just try to think about these internal feelings and these internal emotions which are triggered by by an external event from the outside. And also Scorpio Taurus axis is very much about giving and receiving. And because it's an opposition, we might come to consider how much do we give within a certain relationship, for example, because opposition means two parties, so it's a relationship. So how much do we give, how much do we receive? Do we have too many possessions that we need? And Saturn will trigger us to think about all that we possess materially, emotionally, on any possible plane. It requires us to be responsible for it, to take care of it. Do we need it? So if we don't need it, we just let it go and we keep on, we open some space for something new to come into our life. Like you said, a new job, a new partner, a new home, or whatever you can imagine and whatever you are, is on focus in your life right now. But yeah, trying to purge what's really not needed anymore. And yeah, trying
Yeah, maybe you
to
just
find
want
the
to start with
balance.
your wardrobe, right?
Oh
I don't
yeah.
need this. I'm going to give that away.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to be starting with, you know, uh, I'm going into the bathroom and then I just clean things out. So
Yeah.
it's very much about clearing out. This is very good for personal transformation. This is very good for kind of leaving an old self behind and then having a rebirth process, like a little bit of a death card in the tarot. It's good to work on our shadows. It's good to be doing some research in occult fields, but it's very good to be intimate with your
Mm.
partner as well, rediscovering something or rediscovering the foundation of the relationship. Yes, and as you said, yeah, it's all about the shared resources, what I give and what I receive, right? But we've got a helpful aspect, only one, but we've got one helpful aspect to
Neptune.
this full moon, and that's going to be Vesta. Vesta in Virgo is actually trining the sun, sextiling the moon, and Vesta is all about focusing on something. So it is telling you that all these type of things can be actually cured easily if you focus on the right thing and if you dedicate time and maybe you schedule things around it. So you make sure that I know that, let's say I've got issues in the relationship. So I'm going to be scheduling Vesta in Virgo time to spend quality time with my partner by, for instance, I don't know, having dinner without having the phones around, for instance. So Vesta is all about focus, dedication, commitment, some type of healing as well. So
Yes.
I do believe that this Vesta is going to be again taking a big part in the world in regards to COVID situation as well. But it's very much about remembering the past as well and treasuring those fond memories, looking at them as they were gold.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's so. Yeah, and also Vesta, it just turned direct, right?
Yep,
So it's
Vesta
full
has
speed.
just gone direct recently,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah,
So
yeah.
it
So it,
really kind of encourages. So the moon is basically a very tight conjunction to Vesta, sorry, sextile, not conjunction,
yeah.
and it kind of encourages us to make appropriate adjustments in how we are supporting our higher cause.
Yeah, and also the sign of Vesta, Virgo, it's all about serving others and how do we serve others through our how our identity is able to support others. So we can think about this as well, and it's again touching on the topic of giving and receiving, and yeah, it can help us really find the balance through where do I serve, where do I expect to receive, and what's fair somehow. Indeed. So yeah, and also although Neptune doesn't make any aspects to the full moon, it's in Pisces. So like a bit being, and it's in a sign based opposition to this Vesta in Virgo. So it will be again, it will trigger the mutual signs, which is Virgo, Pisces, oh, give me a hand, Gemini and
Yeah.
Sagittarius. I'm sorry, I just, yeah. So these will be triggered as well, and we have the nodes there. So something might be really helping us to move on a really big scale by doing some small daily routine things, you know, and feeling the unconditional love through Neptune
Yeah.
again.
By the way, there is an aspect between the full moon and Neptune. We've got a Sesqui square going on, which is
Ah,
a minor aspect, by the way, but
yeah.
I do like using Sesqui square because actually it is the aspect of obsession. So
Oh,
it
yeah.
does talk about again that we tend to be, and also Sesqui square is something which is we have tried working through this aspect in many lifetimes, but we have not been able to. So Sesqui square is a Marsian energy, actually. And in many cases, it does talk about relationship as well, because a full circle of the chart is 360 degree. So if I divide it by 135, which is Sesqui square, then we get 2.66. Now, number 2 is the mother and number 6 is the lover. So in many cases, maybe the females are going to be having issues of their sensuality, or do I want to become a mom, or do I want to, be a lover at the same time? So it does bring in some type of relationship matters here again. But usually the Sesqui square is an interesting one. Just a couple of things about it. 135 degree, and that's usually our sitting position as well. So again, it reflects somehow that we need to be somehow patient, right? Sitting tight a little bit. Apparently, that's the body and thigh angle for sitting, and not necessarily the 90 degree. And this is the total number of degrees, and owl can also turn its head in either directions. So again, that is telling you that just examine the situation from as many angles as you can. Yeah, so Sesqui square I kind of like working with. Sesqui square usually indicates three themes: maturity, so it has got a Saturnian and a Uranian flavor to it, when like a young adult is trying to make their own way and the old man is saying you need to respect tradition. So it's something around development, basically within ourselves. And it talks about abnormal different abilities as well, so the disability in the society, and some type of self-destructive behavior as well. So this might be telling you with that Neptune that you should not be, I'll give you an example. Hungary recently opened up kind of the country, and people went nuts. So they are they don't care about, and this is why I heard in England as well, they don't care about social distancing and all those type of things anymore. You know, so this is kind of talking about growing up a little bit as well. And I would like to put a disclaimer out there. I've never mentioned now that I believe in COVID or I don't believe in COVID. I respect Saturn, which says follow the rules type of energy. So I don't wish to be reading comments that, oh, you believe in that type of things, because I received that a couple of days ago. And to be frank, actually, I'm not a firm believer about COVID, if you really want to know my personal opinion, but I respect the rules, and that's it.
Yeah, and the rules are not going to extremes as well. When you, yeah, because the Scorpio moon would talk about going to extremes and obsessions, as you mentioned, and when we are locked down, it's an extreme, and then when the rules, the rules are a little bit loosened up, then we are like going to the other extreme, stop following the measures, and you know, so any extreme is not a nice thing. We need to be following the rules and stay somewhere in the middle. What has to be done has to be done. Be careful and so on.
Yeah, with my Pisces rising sign, I just want to unite the world. Simple as
Oh
that.
yeah, yeah.
And with all my Sagittarius trait, I'm selfish enough to watch out for my own stuff, you know. So it means that I focus on myself and I don't focus on who is arguing with what. And, you know, I don't care about that. Life is too short to do that. So, and this is exactly what that Scorpio full moon might be talking about. Focus on yourself, right? Go within and then release all the toxic situations, what is going on. And I kind of understand it's hard because whatever is going on in the world, it is affecting you. But can you really change it? Not really. So basically you just create you know, some tension within yourself, and then you poison your own life. Scorpio, poison, get rid of it.
Yes, yes, absolutely. I absolutely agree. And also, I think that we will come to realize more and more how connected we are. And because Saturn, as I mentioned before, it actually manifests our fears in order to teach us and to show us on a material level what's inside of us. And Saturn is in Aquarius, and we come to get connected through any type of, you know, social media devices, internet, social networks, and so on. And so we can see as a whole humanity how important it is to be connected, and that we are actually connected, how any type of information is affecting us. And even if we don't read it, when the whole society is in some kind of state of mind, then we also feel this, no matter whether we watch the TV or, and you know, it's the energy that's affecting us more rather than the information that we read so much or what we get as news, you know. So we come to realize more and more, I think, that we are all connected. And my Pisces sun wants to, you know, to feel this unconditional love and the unity of all things. And yeah, and I think it's going to be felt more and more. Yeah. So
I feel like it's just all about focusing on yourself. That's what this full moon really wants, you know. And as you said, there is a fixed T-square going on as well. And usually the fixed T-square is driven by intensity. It wants you to focus. It wants you to have willpower. So putting your head to it, your mind to it, and then you can achieve anything, really. But what usually fixed T-square does is that in response to changing circumstances, fixed sign usually tend to persist in acting according to the pre-established patterns.
And be stubborn.
You know, but again, it's all about recognizing your own power. And that's why Pluto is going station retrograde, because it's time to recognize your willpower within yourself and to focus and, you know, and not to be inflexible or stubborn about things.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. And also regarding action or, you know, staying more internally focused, I would like to mention that we actually have 8 out of 10 planets in feminine signs, which is again very passive energy indeed. So we're, you know, it's just the next confirmation in the full moon chart that we really are prompted to somehow stay calm and just observe. Scorpio is very good at observing. So we can use the energy of Scorpio to observe and to just see what's the situation, to analyze it a little bit, go deep, see what's within us. And then once we have, green light to go through the planets and through the energies, when the energies shift, we can start doing and be a little bit flexible as well. I think Vesta will be helping with that because it's in a mutual sign. So it's a bit more flexible.
Yeah. And I usually say that the Scorpio energy kind of has got 3 stages, and maybe that's what we need to examine at the moment, which stage we are at. So the first stage is something to do with the reptilian, so the reptile survival instincts. The second stage is something to do with the ego. So are we going to be flying above the events and seeing, the advantages of things or the greater perspective? And the third stage is the phoenix bird, really, which is all about rising above the ashes and ready to be reborn, right? Ready to start fresh. So I feel like this is asking you to kind of have a look at what stage are you at the moment. And I would also mention that because Scorpio rules over magic, it's brilliant time to do something magical. Maybe you want to be getting a purple, red, or even gold candle. You want to kind of put some rosemary or vanilla or even basil onto it. And you want to use some type of aquamarine or amazonite or topaz, even ruby crystals, because these are kind of the water stones. And then you might want to be, or even you want to be using some type of moonstone, and then you want to be doing a little bit of a magic.
Yeah.
This is a brilliant time to do that.
Yeah, and really have your intentions clear set, because this is a very potent full moon. Indeed, it's in Scorpio, this is a very fertile sign. So our intentions, and they will manifest sooner or later. So really be clear about what you really want when we're making the ritual for the full moon.
Yeah. I like the fact that you said red light and green light, and, the red light is very much Saturn, and Jupiter is the green light, but it still depends on the driver whether I'm going to be, stopping when the traffic light says or not, right?
Yeah.
So again, that somehow refers back to the rules. And yeah, sometimes the rules are stupid. That's what that Saturn-Uranus square say. And of course, that Uranus-Sun conjunction is rebellious about it. And yes, we don't need to follow all the rules. I completely agree. Have your own rule. I'm an Aquarius Sun, so I don't like rules, but I follow them. But, the Aquarius energy also tells you that have your own rules, but stick to them also.
Yes,
You
yes.
know.
And yeah, Aquarius also rules society. So in order to live in a society, we need to follow some rules. Otherwise, it's no longer a society. So any system without a center is ruled by Aquarius, indeed. So yeah, it is a system in its own. So be within the circle and find your own center.
And actually, on top of my head, Saturn rules the throat chakra, actually. So probably it is very much, again, just speaking about your problems and letting that tension to come out. It's like having a ball got stuck in your throat, and you just feel suffocated by that. And I get that. But this is, anyway, to wrap it up. In order for you to create something, you have to let go of maybe some internal challenges, or even just to let go of some events in your life which is not serving you anymore.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, beautifully said. So this is a great time to really heal, to clean, and to purge. And I wish you all good luck with that. It's going to be intense, but it's possible, and yeah, we can make it.
Yes, and we will see you with the new moon video in a couple of weeks' time. Have a
Yeah.
lovely and blessed day, everyone, and see you
Yeah.
shortly.
See you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.